Hello everyone, Throttle-On John here. We have a little bit of a fixer-upper. As many of you know, I have a few different Toyota RAV4s, newer ones that we drive, and wanted to get something, an older one, for one of my kids to drive to high school. I kind of learned a lesson on having the newer one driven to high school and what that looks like. So anyway, long story short, found a 2002 RAV4. I wanted something reliable, and so wanted something with 100,000 miles or less, give or take a little bit. This one has 111,000 miles, and wanted it to be mechanically sound. Cosmetically, we wanted it to be something you're not ashamed to drive, but it didn't need to be perfect. So this has some, you know, damage over here. It's hard to maybe see. Yeah, you can see those dents there, and there's scratches. It's like maybe somebody keyed it or pulled along something. Looks like somebody was using the bumpers as feelers, because there's scratches here and there. You know, another scratch here. Cloth interior. You know, decent condition though. You know, typical Toyota quality. Decent. And nothing, manual transmission. This is front wheel drive in 2002. If you got a manual, they were front wheel drive only. So you can see the gauges in here, kind of old school 2002 gauges, which I think is kind of fun, and it shifts great. I took it for a test drive. So what was I looking for? I guess that's what I'm getting to. In a used car, what was I looking for here? So I was looking for major rust. So I went around all the wheel wells and I looked underneath the car. I'll get this up on a lift in a second. We'll look around, but I kind of looked underneath looking for rust. Of course, you'd pop the hood. When we started the car, we were looking for smoke. And, you know, so I had my wife go in and, you know, she started the car, and I stood back here at the tailpipe, and it was a cold start. And we didn't see anything coming out, so that was good. Of course, I checked the tires. It has new tires, which is great, but I found out my speedometer was considerably off on the way home, and the tires that are on here are too small. The wheels are the correct wheels, but the tires are small, so pretty easy fix. I can, you know, fix that. On the test drive, I was feeling for pulsation in the brakes to see if it had warped rotors, weird braking noises. Brakes were great, no pulsing in the brake pedal, so no warped rotors. I'm still going to check the pads here in a little bit. You know, I pulled the, opened the hood and start off by looking for, you know, valve cover leaks, which would be fixable, but no major leaks. I'm sure they detail out the motor base, so I always like to keep that in mind. But I didn't see any fresh oil leaking around. I like to open this up and just look in here to see if it's sludged up, because you can kind of see the valve train a little bit in there, and it looks decent. It looks like something with 100,000 miles on it. Nothing all sludged up in there. Power steering fluid could probably be cycled out by sucking it out, running it, putting some more in, and diluting it. By, you know, we'll go over that. We'll kind of change that out. Has a new battery, but has quite a bit of corrosion on these terminals. So we're going to fix that. So I guess where I'm going with all this, I'm showing you what to look for on a car. Oh, it's missing all the clips in here, but we can replace those. So stay tuned, and I'm going to go through each of the points of with a used car, what I would look for in a used car, and then we're going to go through, when you get a car with 100,000 miles on it, what you should fix. And mainly it's going to come down to rubber and filters, fluids, and those kinds of parts. So I'll detail what my plan in this video is, and then in future videos we'll go through each one of the things I talk about and do how to step by step. For example, when I was looking at the car, I also pulled the air filter. It's okay. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's definitely not terrific, but it's clean on the inside. It wasn't getting penetrated, so we're good, but it definitely needs a new air filter. And then we're going to put new plugs in this, because my guess is these are the original plugs. So we're going to do spark plugs. This will be one of our projects, changing out spark plugs. Another one will be doing radiator hoses. These are the original Toyota hoses, and these are 20 years old. So you can tell by the OEM clamps. And so we need to put upper and lower radiator hoses on this. There's the lower one's way down there. We're going to do a belt. This belt looks, again, rubber will leave you stranded. If this breaks, oh yeah, this is hard and cracked. I mean, it's okay, but if that breaks, you're stranded. So we're going to replace a belt. That belt there, this does not have, the 2002 RAV4 doesn't have a timing belt. I looked that up. It has a chain. So we're going to change oil. So I'll show you how to do an oil change on this. Change out the air filter, the in-cabin filter. I'm going to show you how to clean battery terminal cables. And fluid, we'll change out the radiator fluid on this. That's something you should do every 5 to 10 years, depending on what kind of fluid you have. We'll change out the manual transmission fluid at some point on this. That's something you don't have to do often. I'm going to look at the brakes. If we need brake pads, we will, I'll show you kind of a how-to video on that. We'll do the in-cabin filters I was mentioning, so I'll do a how-to video on that. So we're just going to go through this car. When I drove the car, I was looking for also if the engine stalled, how it shifted for an automatic transmission. You know, you're looking for slippage. This is a manual transmission, and being a Toyota, there wasn't much that was going to go be wrong. So let's lift the car up. I haven't put it on a hoist yet. Let's lift it up and see if I missed any major damage. I mean, I don't really know, but it's a cute little car. So far, everything that I'm finding is stuff that I expected and things that are pretty easy to remedy. So let's go ahead and put it on the lift and see what we find. So before I took the car home or bought it, I even, I obviously checked the engine oil. It was up. It was actually clean, which was nice. I'm still going to change it out though, because who knows if it's the right weight oil. I'm assuming it is, but when you get a used car, you just don't know. You're better off just doing due diligence. And oh, this filter, I know it's really old because look at this rubber around the edge of it. It's like hard as a rock. It's cracked out. It's missing the seal over here. You can see it's off. I mean, this is an old filter. I mean, thankfully, it's not horribly dirty, but it is old. I kind of question if it's the original one that came in the car, but this is from an area where there was a lot of water, so it wasn't really dusty, so it's possible. Oh, and then looking around here in the fender wells, no rust. It looks really nice, actually. I mean, in here, I mean, for a car this old, I mean, yeah, there's some surface corrosion on here on the alternator and stuff, but there's nothing that, so far, that I see that makes me worry about the integrity of the car. So let's get it on the lift, and let's keep looking. I've had such good luck with Toyotas in the past. We had a Camry that we put 270,000 miles on, and when we sold it, it was running fine. I have a 4Runner that I'm fond of, and a RAV4, another newer RAV4 that I'm fond of. So it's just nice to have a car that if you maintain it, you just won't have any major issues. So that being said, let's go ahead and see how this car is held up with. And then I did look at the Carfax. Oh, I should have mentioned that. If you can do a Carfax on the car to, look for major, I didn't want a salvage title. And anyway, this was a one-owner car. I guess that's where I'm going. This is a one-owner car. Same guy owned it for many, many years. And he took okay care. I saw that it had oil changes every 8 to 10,000 miles, which is too long in my opinion, but that's a different video altogether. But that's what a lot of people do. So that being said, I love Toyotas. I think they're great cars. And if I'm going to buy a used car, it's hard for me to think of anything else. So I'm excited to get this on the lift. Let's see what we got. Of course, I'm checking, you know, we got radiator fluid down here. I can see the level is up to where it should be. So yeah, just getting the car and knowing your way around. I'm just looking for major catastrophic engine issues, I guess, when I'm driving a vehicle. I think it's good to take somebody with you who's mechanical, who can, you know, just kind of help you size up a vehicle. And taking it to a mechanic to have it checked out is always a good thing. I'm not formally a mechanic, but I've worked on a lot of things and have a lifetime of working on things, so I know enough to where I think I can spot most big issues, but to put it on a scan tool and some of those things is always a good idea, so I should say that up front. So just at a cursory glance under here, everything looks pretty good. No rust that's gotten out of control. In fact, nothing. Struts are good. No leaky shocks. CV boots are good there. CV boots good there. CV boots there. Inner one. Outer one. That is some hard rubber. Let me tell you, I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't take a lot to tear those, but they haven't torn. The brake pads are thin. When I look between the pad and the rotor, how much materials are, they are thin, but they're not down through the pads, so no damage done. I might have a oil pan that has some mild seepage here. I can't tell if it's coming. It looks like it's actually coming from the bolt here. There might be some from up there, but it's not like dripping and all over the undercarriage. If it is, it's very, very slight. Amazing for 110,000 miles. And then look at the frame. It's perfect. Perfect. Nothing. No rust. Here's the cross member here. Looks good. This is just where this got high centered on something, and you can see it tore off the rubber coating on there, so I'll hit that with some Rust-Oleum paint. We're back at the, just to orient you, we're at the back of the car here. I mean, exhaust get surface rust, so yeah, we can see some surface rust on the exhaust, but it was quiet, it's not rusted through. Here's some surface rust on the exhaust here. Sure, that's the OEM exhaust, so not bad for 20 years. I would expect some rust there. But on the stuff that matters, the undercarriage, the frame, look at that. Just no significant rust. And none on the frame, zero. So I guess they had got the RAV4 figured out on how to coat these things. No rust. Very, very good. And this, again, you could tell somebody was driving this and, I don't know, went off a curb or, I don't know, hit something and just tore the rubber off these A-arms, and we'll hit that with some Rust-Oleum paint. I might even hit some of this with some paint. But again, this is what I was looking at just at a cursory glance when I was there, and I didn't see any issues. And we got a good car here. I don't see any big issues. Looking at the back side of the motor and the transmission, I don't see any oil leakage or any issues. Just that one oil pan. That's so easy to get at. I could see maybe resealing that at some point because I don't have to even remove anything to do that. But it's not blowing back. If it's a big leak, you'll see the oil blowing back along the undercarriage, and it's not doing any of that. So all in all, a very, very clean, good-looking car. Very, very happy. That's good Toyota quality.